Everything your history teacher told you is a lie. We're taught that human history is this perfect straight line of progress. Hunting, farming, cities, all in a nice, neat row. You've seen those boring timelines in textbooks. Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age. Simple, clean, logical. But what if that timeline is completely broken? What if there's a massive chapter in our history that's totally ignored? A chapter that could rewrite everything we know about where we came from. This isn't just a few years missing. We're talking about a period right after the Ice Age that makes absolutely no sense. It's not just a missing page from the history book. It's an entirely different book. And its first chapter is a giant question mark that archaeologists are still trying to solve. Today, we're diving into a time with structures that simply should not exist. Temples built by people who weren't supposed to have temples. Cities hidden under jungles we thought were empty. Technologies that predate the wheel by thousands of years. The story usually starts 12,000 years ago. The ice is melting, the world is warming up, and humanity is about to invent farming. This farming revolution is supposed to be the foundation of everything: cities, writing, empires, civilization itself. It's clean, it's simple, it's logical. And it's almost definitely wrong. Because in Turkey, there's a temple complex that predates farming by over 1,000 years. In the Amazon, there are cities older than anyone thought possible, built by cultures that weren't supposed to exist. These discoveries are forcing us to ask one terrifying question. If our ancestors could do all this without farming, without cities, without any of the things we thought were necessary, what else don't we know? What else is buried out there, waiting to shatter everything we believe about our own origins? Let's start with what you were taught in school. The entire story of human history is built on one simple idea. First you farm, then you build cool stuff. For millions of years, humans were just wandering bands of hunters and gatherers. We followed herds, picked berries, lived in small groups, and barely survived. We were smart enough to make tools, sure, but we had no permanent homes, no complex societies, no grand monuments. Then, around 10,000 BCE, something changed. We figured out farming. We planted seeds, domesticated animals, and suddenly we had food surpluses. Those surpluses gave us free time. Free time gave us specialists, artists, priests, builders, leaders. Only then could we settle down. Only then could we build cities. Only then could we create civilization. This is called the Neolithic Revolution, and it's supposed to be the most important turning point in human history. Everything that came after, Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, Rome, all of it traces back to that moment when we learned to grow wheat. Before farming, nothing, just survival. The textbooks show it as a clean progression. Hunter-gatherers to farmers, farmers to city builders, simple to complex, primitive to advanced. But here's the problem. The actual evidence tells a completely different story. Humans haven't just been smart for the last 10,000 years. We've been brilliant for way, way longer than that. Go back 400,000 years. Our ancestor, Homo heidelbergensis, was creating perfectly symmetrical stone hand axes. These weren't crude rocks. These were designed objects, made by people with a plan, with aesthetic vision. These ancient humans hunted massive animals and maintained tool traditions that lasted for hundreds of thousands of years. This wasn't just survival, this was culture. So if our relatives were this sophisticated 500,000 years ago, why do our history books insist we had to start from scratch after the Ice Age? That's where the neat timeline completely falls apart. Okay, this is where it gets crazy. In southeastern Turkey, there's a hill called Göbekli Tepe. For decades, archaeologists walked right past it. They thought it was just an old cemetery, maybe some medieval graves, nothing special. But in 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt saw something everyone else had missed. The stones jutting from the ground weren't grave markers. They were something far older, something impossible. What his team excavated over the next 2 decades didn't just earn a UNESCO World Heritage designation. It literally changed our understanding of human civilization. Göbekli Tepe dates back to 9,600 BCE. Let me put that in perspective. That's over 6,000 years older than Stonehenge. It's older than the pyramids by 7,000 years. It predates the first cities, the first writing systems, the first pottery. It even predates farming. According to everything we thought we knew, the people who built this should have been simple hunter-gatherers barely scraping by. But what they created was anything but simple. Göbekli Tepe is a massive complex of circular enclosures. At the center of each one stand enormous T-shaped limestone pillars, some over 18 feet tall and weighing up to 50 tons. 50 tons! These weren't crude standing stones. They were quarried, transported hundreds of meters, erected vertically, and arranged in precise patterns, all without draft animals, without wheels, without metal tools. How? And then they carved them. The pillars are covered in detailed reliefs: lions, foxes, wild boars, snakes, scorpions, vultures. This isn't just decoration. It's an entire mythology rendered in stone by people we assumed didn't have mythologies. The pillars themselves are shaped like stylized humans with arms and hands carved into their sides. They're like silent giants gathered in an eternal meeting that's lasted 12,000 years. The scale of labor this required is staggering. Hundreds of workers, organized, fed, coordinated over years or decades. This implies a level of social complexity that was supposed to be impossible before agriculture. But here's Klaus Schmidt's world-changing theory. What if we have it all backwards? Schmidt proposed something radical. What if the need to build something like Göbekli Tepe actually kick-started civilization? Think about it. To construct these massive stone circles, you'd need to organize hundreds of people, feed them, house them, coordinate their labor over years. That kind of effort might have forced these hunter-gatherers to invent agriculture. The temple didn't come after the city. The temple came first. First came the sacred site, then came the need to feed the builders, then came farming, then came permanent settlement. It flips the entire narrative upside down. But wait, it gets even weirder. One of the pillars at Göbekli Tepe, Pillar 43, known as the Vulture stone, has sparked a massive scientific controversy. It's covered with carvings, a scorpion, various birds, a prominent vulture, and near the woodward's wing is a small, headless human figure. In 2017, 2 researchers from the University of Edinburgh published a bombshell paper. They claimed these carvings weren't just symbolic animals, they were a sophisticated star map. Using astronomical software, they reconstructed the night sky from 12,000 years ago. And according to their analysis, the pillars on Pillar 43 perfectly match specific constellations as they would have appeared around 10,950 BCE. Their conclusion? The pillar is a date stamp, a memorial to a global catastrophe. That date, 10,950 BCE, aligns almost perfectly with the Younger Dryas impact event, a sudden climate crisis that plunged the world back into a mini ice age for over 1,000 years. Some scientists believe this was caused by a comet or asteroid impact. These researchers argue that the Vulture stone is a memorial to that exact disaster. The headless man represents mass death. The animals represent the sky on the night it happened. If they're right, Göbekli Tepe isn't just a temple, it's an astronomical observatory and a warning carved in stone for future generations. The builders weren't just artists, they were astronomers. It's a mind-bending idea, but, and this is important, most mainstream archaeologists completely reject this theory. Before you freak out, let me tell you why. The scientists who actually excavate Göbekli Tepe have published papers tearing the comet memorial theory apart. Their first criticism? The dating is off. The Vulture stone was carved around 9600 BCE, but the supposed impact happened around 10,950 BCE. That's a gap of over 1,300 years. Why would people memorialize an event more than a millennium after it happened? Second problem? Identifying constellations is basically guesswork. We're assuming ancient hunter-gatherers saw the same star patterns as the Greeks did thousands of years later. That's a massive, unproven leap. Different cultures see completely different shapes in the stars. The Big Dipper is a ladle to us, but to ancient Chinese astronomers, it was part of a palace. Why would Ice Age Anatolians see a scorpion the way we do? And most importantly, the imagery on the Vulture stone, vultures and headless humans, is actually super common in this region during this time period. The mainstream interpretation? It's about death rituals. Many cultures in this area practiced excarnation, leaving bodies out for vultures to consume before collecting the bones for burial. The headless figure isn't a victim of cosmic disaster. It's part of a spiritual belief system where vultures carry souls to the afterlife. So while the ancient star map theory makes for an incredible story, the evidence points to a different truth. The people of Göbekli Tepe were deeply obsessed with life, death, and the transition between them. And they expressed these beliefs on a scale we can barely comprehend. But here's the thing that both sides agree on. These were not primitive people. Whether they were recording a comet strike or practicing complex funerary rites, they had sophisticated symbolic thinking, organizational capacity, and artistic vision that predates everything we thought was necessary for civilization. And if your mind is blown right now, hit that subscribe button, because this mystery is way bigger than just one temple in Turkey. We're about to jump to the other side of the world, where an entire lost civilization was hiding in plain sight. For centuries, everyone believed the Amazon rainforest was a pristine, empty wilderness. The idea of large, complex societies thriving there was dismissed as fantasy. Explorers' tall tales about El Dorado, nothing more. Scientists said the soil was too poor, the jungle too thick. It simply couldn't support large populations. That assumption was completely wrong. The technology that shattered this myth? LiDAR, light detection and ranging. Basically shooting lasers from planes to map the ground beneath the canopy. I'm not kidding. Lasers revealed an entire lost world. In Ecuador's Upano Valley, archaeologists had noticed some unusual mounds for decades. But after LiDAR scans in 2015, the true shocking scale of what lay hidden became undeniable. Beneath the forest wasn't just a village, it was a vast, interconnected urban landscape. The findings, published in early 2024 in the journal Science, revealed an entire network of cities. This civilization began building around 500 BCE and lasted for roughly 1,000 years, making it a full millennium older than any other known complex society in the Amazon. The LiDAR uncovered over 6,000 rectangular earthen platforms where homes once stood, all arranged around massive central plazas. But the most incredible part? The road system. The scans revealed a network of wide, perfectly straight roads connecting these cities across miles of terrain. These weren't simple footpaths, they were engineered thoroughfares, dug out, built up, intersecting at perfect right angles. This demonstrates an astonishing level of urban planning and centralized authority. The entire landscape was transformed by human hands. Between the cities lay extensive agricultural fields with sophisticated drainage canals and terraces. The estimated population was at least 15,000 to 30,000 people. Some researchers think it could have been far larger. These were thriving garden cities that flourished for over a millennium before being mysteriously abandoned. And this isn't an isolated discovery. This is part of a growing wave of evidence proving the Amazon was once a densely populated, intensely managed landscape. Just wait until you see what they found in Brazil. Over in Brazil, another stunning phenomenon has been emerging from the forest, revealed ironically by the same deforestation that's destroying it. They're called the Ecre geoglyphs. Since the 1970s, as land has been cleared for cattle ranching, hundreds of massive geometric earthworks have appeared. There are now over 450 of these structures documented: perfect circles, precise squares, complex geometric patterns carved into the earth. Some have ditches 13 feet deep and 36 feet wide. These earth tattoos were created between 300 BCE and 1500 CE by cultures we're only beginning to understand. Nobody knows their exact purpose. They likely served as ceremonial gathering spaces, massive outdoor temples. But they demonstrate a perfect understanding of geometry and the ability to mobilize enormous amounts of coordinated labor. What all these Amazon discoveries prove is that the rainforest's history wasn't one of emptiness, it was one of presence. The Amazon was a connected world, full of innovative societies who actively engineered their environment, and we're only now beginning to glimpse the true scale of this lost world. So let's step back. We've got two massive parallel mysteries. In the old world, Göbekli Tepe, a monumental temple complex built by hunter-gatherers 11,600 years ago, predating agriculture itself. In the New World, vast urban networks in the Amazon, sophisticated road systems, geometric earthworks, societies thriving in a place we thought couldn't support them. Separated by an ocean, separated by thousands of years, and yet there's a common thread. In both cases, we dramatically underestimated what pre-agricultural or primitive societies were capable of. We assumed complexity required farming, cities, writing. We assumed our ancestors followed a linear path from simple to advanced. But the evidence keeps screaming at us. Human ingenuity doesn't wait for the right conditions. It explodes whenever and wherever people gather with shared purpose. Which raises one haunting question. If these incredible civilizations existed, how did we forget about them? The answer to how we forgot is different for each place. but equally fascinating. At Göbekli Tepe, the amnesia was deliberate. And 8000 BCE, roughly 1600 years after construction began, the builders buried the entire complex themselves. They deliberately packed every enclosure with thousands of tons of dirt and rubble, creating the artificial hill that hid it for the next 10,000 years. This wasn't accidental abandonment, it was a conscious act. Whether it was preservation or ritual closure, we don't know, but they sealed their own creation like a time capsule. For 10 millennia, the secret sat there, waiting. In the Amazon, the amnesia was a mix of nature and human prejudice. After these cities were abandoned, likely due to the arrival of European diseases in the 1500s, the jungle simply grew back. Within a few generations, the forest consumed everything. Roads disappeared, platforms were swallowed, the cities became invisible. But the forgetting was made worse by centuries of colonial bias. The myth of the pristine wilderness was convenient for European colonizers. If the Amazon had always been empty, then taking it didn't require erasing anyone. The indigenous histories, the oral traditions about great cities and ancient roads, all of it was dismissed as myth. Even into the 20th century, archaeologists actively resisted the idea that complex civilizations could have existed in the Amazon. The soil was too poor, the jungle was too harsh. It became accepted fact. For decades, serious researchers didn't even look. The evidence was there, hiding just beneath the surface, but the assumption that it couldn't exist prevented anyone from finding it. So what does all of this actually mean? Here's what these discoveries are telling us. History is not a straight line. It's a chaotic mess of rises and falls, explosions of creativity, and long periods of forgetting. The revelation from Göbekli Tepe is profound. Our human drive for meaning and community might be the most powerful engine for civilization, not agriculture, not cities, not technology. The need to build something sacred together may have created society, not the other way around. Klaus Schmidt put it perfectly. First came the temple, then came the city. Our ability to imagine, to symbolize, to gather around shared beliefs, that's not a luxury that comes after we solve survival. It's fundamental to being human. It's what we do. The revelation from the Amazon is equally powerful. We have catastrophically underestimated our ancestors. We looked at a rainforest and called it empty when it was actually a vast, managed garden supporting millions. We dismissed indigenous histories as legends when they were literally accurate descriptions of real places. These discoveries prove that human genius can emerge anywhere, under any conditions. You don't need the right environment or the right technology. You need people with vision and purpose. And the staggering truth? Entire civilizations are still buried beneath our feet, waiting to be found. That hazy period after the Ice Age wasn't empty. It was an explosion of human creativity, the moment our ancient impulse to build, to create meaning, to transform the landscape was unleashed on a warming world. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, the Upano Valley cities in Ecuador, the Acre geoglyphs in Brazil, these aren't weird exceptions, they are the real story. They show us that human history is cyclical, rising and falling, building and forgetting, remembering and rediscovering. We are not the first complex society. We're just the latest. And here's the craziest part of all. At Göbekli Tepe, archaeologists have excavated only about 5% of the site. 5%. That means 95% is still underground, holding secrets we can't even imagine. More enclosures, more pillars, more carvings. What stories are still buried there? What other impossible technologies are waiting to be found? In the Amazon, every new LiDAR scan reveals more. Just last year, researchers discovered additional earthworks in previously unmapped areas. There could be dozens, maybe hundreds of cities still hidden beneath the canopy. We are at the very beginning of understanding our own past. The gap in our historical knowledge is closing, but it's being replaced by an even deeper sense of wonder and mystery. Because here's what we still don't know. Why did the builders of Göbekli Tepe bury their own creation? What were they trying to preserve or hide? What happened to the Amazon cities? Why were they abandoned after thriving for 1,000 years? Are these sites connected somehow, or are they just parallel examples of a universal human impulse to build monumental things? And the biggest question of all, what else is out there? How many lost chapters are still waiting to be read? How many civilizations rose and fell without leaving a trace in our textbooks? We started this journey with a gap in history, a question mark on the timeline right after the Ice Age. What we found wasn't an empty space, it was a space overflowing with forgotten wonders. We found temples built by hunters, cities swallowed by jungles, astronomers without telescopes, engineers without wheels. We're being forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Our ancestors were not simple cartoons from a textbook. They were architects, astronomers, artists, spiritual thinkers, people asking the same big questions we ask today. What do you think is hidden in these missing chapters? Are Göbekli Tepe and the Amazon cities connected, or are they just parallel examples of human brilliance emerging independently? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below. And if this blew your mind, check out our other deep dives into ancient mysteries. Thanks for watching.